guys, this is Tanya with Little Vintage Cottage, and I am back today for the very last 12 months of Christmas ornament make-along project. This is Christmas in December, and this is our very last ornament. And if you have been following along and making the ornaments and just not sharing on the Facebook thread, I would love to see them, and I'm sure everyone else would too. So feel free to share, don't be shy. If you haven't been making them, but you've been following along and enjoying, that's fine too. If you haven't been following along and you're just now seeing this, I will have links to all the prior ornaments that we made for each month of 2023, and they'll be up always. So if you wanted to make these next year, they'll always be there. So let's get started with this month's project and supply list. So this month we are making these little angel ornaments. Let me back up a little. So this is the first one I made. They're pretty cute. You could do their hair in different ways. I did just like it's almost like a messy bun. It's like she just got up and now she has to sing for you. And here's the other one that I've made so far. Her hair is even messier and covers part of her face, but I think that they're cute. So that's what we're making this month. So let me share the supplies that you will need. So these are made with recycled food boxes. This one is a cereal box, and really any thinner cardboard will do. I mean, this, you know what a cereal box, the thickness that it is. You don't want to go any thicker than that because it just becomes too hard to form the little cones that you need to make these. So you need that. You'll need the pattern, and there will be a link below the video for the pattern, or if you're in the blog, there's a link there to go print yourself off the pattern. This is the body, the arms. You'll cut two of these, one of these, and then this is the little head, and you just need one. So print out those patterns and cut them out. You will need a scrap of fabric, and this one has already had an angel cut out of it, so it was about twice this size. But you can see that it doesn't need to be a lot of fabric at all. It doesn't even need to be Christmas fabric. This is not Christmas fabric. It is Christmas colors though, but I've seen the vintage ones that were made out of, you know, like pink, springy looking fabric. So whatever fabric catches your eye or that you have on hand. And then you'll need this is just plain cream colored muslin. This is for her face. If you had peach or skin toned fabric, that would be even better, but this works just fine. Then you'll need some yarn that is suitable for a hair color, and really these days anything is suitable for a hair color. This one has I guess you would call it blonde hair. It's gold. This one has pink hair. So any color that you want for your hair. You'll need some scraps of ribbon for the bow that goes on her neck, the bow that's going to go on the back of her hair if you do her hair like this. So it needs to coordinate with your fabric. You'll need some trim, little pieces of trim for her outfit. This one I used the pink is bias tape, skinny bias tape with some skinny rickrack trim on top. On her sleeves is tiny little delicate pink lace, and on the bottom of her dress is some more lacy looking trim. This one has this trim down the front of her dress, and she's got the same trim for the bottom of her dress and her sleeves. So you can use just one trim or several. You will also need some lace, scraps of lace for her wings. So I used a scrap of an old tablecloth and I cut out the little medallion that was here and then cut it in half for her wings. And then this one, her wings are made from, I have an old handkerchief and I cut these little circle parts off and used those for her wings. You don't have to have wings on her. She doesn't have to be an angel. You could also put a little halo on her made with like a pipe cleaner. Okay, so you'll need scissors that are suitable for cutting cardboard because you don't want to use your fabric scissors on cardboard. You'll need some craft paint. I used black, blue, and red for my little angels. The blue is for their eyes, which their eyes are closed, so it's like they've got blue eyeshadow on, so you could use another color if you want. Red is for the mouth, black is for the eyelashes. Some decorating chalks, and I realize that not everybody has these. There are some on Amazon, I think, but it's just chalk that is colored, really. So blush would work. It's for their cheeks. You could use your blush. You could use, maybe if you have another regular chalk that's pink, that would probably work. Or you can use paint and a really dry paintbrush to kind of scrub it on. You need some white craft glue. I like Aleene's Tacky Glue. You'll need some Mod Podge, a pencil, a skinny like detail paintbrush, a sponge brush, which I don't have one right here, but a sponge brush, and then some little clamps. And if you don't have small clamps like this, clothespins will work. Paper clips would probably work, large paper clips. So just something to clamp the arms. And finally, your hot glue gun. So that's it. So let me show you how these are made. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna cut out the pattern pieces from the pattern that I have provided. There's a link. There's a link below the video if you're watching the video on YouTube, and there's also a link in the blog post if you are watching from the blog. So you're going to cut one body, 2 arms, and 1 head out of the recycled cardboard food box. So you're just going to trace the parts onto your box and cut it out. And cut those out. There we go. So now we have our parts cut out, and you're going to do the same thing with the fabric of your choice for the body and arms. This is the fabric I'm using. It doesn't have to be Christmas fabric. The first one I made was Christmas fabric. She has little poinsettia, pink and red poinsettia fabric, but any kind will do. So we'll just lay our pieces down. And I'll try and get over here. My fabric is messed up a little from being folded. And then trace that. Trace the pieces out onto your fabric also. Probably hard for you to see on here, but I have some nicer scissors for fabric for this part. So just cut our pieces out. And you can see you don't need very much fabric at all. This was just a little scrap that I had, and it's plenty. Okay, the head is cut out of, if you have skin tone fabric, peach or a very light pink, that would be nice, or just a cream colored muslin will also work. Trace that on there. Okay. Whoops. So now you've got your pieces cut out. So we are going to use our Mod Podge and sponge brush, and we're gonna put the fabric onto the blank side of the cardboard. It won't work typically unless you have really dark fabric. It won't work very good to cover the cereal box because you can see it through. This fabric is almost dark enough, but if you have a light colored fabric, it's not going to work. So just make your own judgment based on what your fabric is like. I'm going to get my craft mat out here so I don't get glue all over my worktop. Just move these out of the way. Okay. So take your Mod Podge and put a layer on your cardboard. Don't be too chintzy with the Mod Podge. You want your fabric to stick really well, and so put a generous layer on, and then take your fabric and lay it on top. And then if you have one of these, it's like some, I don't know what you call it, I don't know. So it's a tool that I use for smoothing out papers and stuff. A credit card will work. And just kind of smooth your fabric down so it's not wrinkled and covering all the cardboard. Got some areas. Mod Podge dries really fast, so if it has some areas that aren't sticking, just put some more Mod Podge down. Okay, set that aside, and then I'm gonna move on to the arms. little better. Okay. Or it could just be that I got my fabric cut a little crooked, but it's not a big deal because in the end you won't see that little flaw. What happened to my... Oh no. Don't do this. Didn't even see that was stuck to that. That's funny. Okay, so like I said, Mod Podge doesn't take long to dry at all, so those will be dry in no time. Just give them a couple minutes. I'm gonna go rinse out my sponge brush and I will be right back. Okay, I am back and these have had just enough time. They're probably still a little damp, but it's all right. They'll be good enough. So what you need now is your tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue, or just white craft glue, and some clamps. If you don't have little clamps like these, clothespins will work. And then I find it helpful when you're trying to bend this cardboard to be able to wrap it around something, you know, that can help form the shape. So it's just to get it started, because what we need to do is roll it so that it's together like this in a cone. And like I said before, it's a little difficult to get it going, but be patient and work with it and you'll get it. And it's fine if the top is a little bit, can you see how the top's not completely rolled? That's fine because that'll be covered up by her head. So that looks pretty good, and it's overlapped about like that. You know, just use your judgment, however it's working out for you. Okay, so then you're going to take your tacky glue and just put a line of glue here. And then if you hold the top here, it shouldn't pop all the way back open. It makes it a little bit easier. And then get your bottom clamped first, as far up as you can, and then you can come in and press the top back together and clamp the top. You may need to hold it. I'm going to come in from this side a little because that's wanting to pop open. There we go, that looks pretty good. Okay, so that should dry. And so we'll just set that one aside to dry, and we'll do the same thing with the arms. Wipe off your excess glue and give those time to dry. It really doesn't take, you don't need to leave them overnight. It doesn't take that long. Maybe just like an hour or so. So while those are drying, we can start working on her hair. So for her hair, I have this big chunky gold yarn. For this one, I used a little bit smaller but still pretty chunky pink. So she has pink hair. And so the way I make this is I use 3 fingers and I just roll around it. Hold it with your thumb, roll around a few times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times maybe with this big chunky yarn. If you're using smaller yarn, you're going to want to go you know, several more times depending on the size of your yarn. You want a pretty good bundle here. And so then you're going to take another piece and we're going to tie this. So basically we're making, well, it's almost like we're making a pom-pom here. So tie it, making sure you catch the ends. And pull it as tight as you can. Okay. So what this is going to be, this is the way I made the hair. Really, you could try different ways if you know a better way to make hair or you want it to look different. Just try a few things out and see what works for you. So what I did on the other doll is I just kind of laid this on top like this, and I did it kind of at an angle so it almost looks like her little bangs. So I used my hot glue gun for this. I don't recommend using hot glue on this part, on the body and the arms, because it just won't hold with the cardboard. It'll eventually just pop open. Hot glue is weird like that. So we can use it on this because it'll really stick to the yarn. So I'm just gonna put like a little bit of the hot glue up here. Just kind of stick it in there. Try and arrange my hair. Not my hair, but the doll's hair. And hold it there for a second. Looks pretty gross at first, but it'll start to come together. And then you may need to, so let's glue the back down so that's secure. Let's put a little dab of glue on the knot, glue it down to the back of the head like that, and hold it for a second. And then we'll just continue bringing the hair up and over like this and kind of gluing it down. Okay. Put some glue here and a little bit here. I'll bring this over. She just got a messy hairdo. It's like she just got out of bed. Put some glue across the top. Just kind of fold these over. Just each one's going to turn out a little bit different, and also if you try some different hairstyles, they'll look different. I'm just kind of winging it here. Okay, and then I'm going to trim off the ends here. Okay, looking a little rough so far, but we can fix her up. Alright, so you can see on this one, she's not quite as, well, the yarn isn't as big, so her hairdo isn't quite as big, but the little poof right here is to cover up what's going on in the back. So let's kind of do the same thing for her. Let's see about giving her a poof. Or I guess it would be more appropriately called a bun. So the way I do these is I take my index finger, the fattest part of my finger, which is my knuckle, and wrap around that just like you did at the beginning of her hair. About that many times. And then, since this yarn is so big, I don't think I can use yarn again to tie it, so I'm going to use just a little piece of embroidery floss. So stick that through there. And I can tie that off. Again, as tight as you can get it. It's hard when you're by yourself. If you have a helper that can hold down your knot, that helps. Okay, I think I got it. Alright. And then with this one, you're going to go ahead and cut through, because really we are making a pom-pom this time. So let's cut through the loops. And then that doesn't look like a pom-pom, does it? So I'm just going to start trimming this up. Go a little bit at a time. Don't get too carried away, because you can always cut off more, but you can't put it back. So then if you just kind of mush it together, it starts to look more like a pom-pom. So let's put it on her head. Let's see what it looks like. See how cute that's going to be? So I'm going to go ahead and glue it on, and then I'll do some more trimming. So when I glue it, see how it's tied right here? I'm going to pinch this way and glue it like this, and that'll help it look more like a pom-pom. So let's put a little dab of glue here and put it on the back of her head so that it sticks up over the top a little. And then hold it for a minute. Give it a chance to grab hold. And you can see, you can still see this part and through to the back of her head. And so what I did with this doll was I added a little ribbon hanger, and then I covered it with a little bow, which kind of disguises everything. So we'll do the same on this one. So I need to do a little bit more trimming though. Okay. I think that's pretty cute. I like her little messy hairdo. If you don't like it, you know, try some other things and see what else you can come up with. Just kind of tacking it down in a couple spots again. Okay, that looks pretty good. You could also add a little flower up here or a headband or whatever. Let's check our cones and see how they're doing. Seems pretty good. Not completely dry, but dry enough that I think we can work with it. All right, so I'm gonna add her arms first. So I'm just kind of bending them back, you know, into shape. They got flattened a little. Trim up your fabric. This one's got some cardboard, so I'm gonna use my other scissors and just trim that a little bit. Same thing with the skirt. There we go. So you want this part to be in the back. And then her arms just go on the sides. Like that. And we can use hot glue for this. So I'm going to put hot glue just right on her arm. And then stick it to the side. Do the same thing with the other one. And so see, the seams will be covered on these too. I wouldn't go all the way to the bottom of the arm. I don't know, I guess you could. It is touching. It is touching the body, so it would be fine. Oops. It would be fine to go and put glue all the way to the bottom of the sleeve. This one's not. There we go. There we go. And then we'll add her head. I have a little edge to glue down onto here. I'm going to put the glue on here. And glue that to the top of the body, like so. Let's go ahead and create a bow to cover up this mess in the back. So I have this wider red, it's almost like a burlap, but not really. Let's see if I can tie a bow with this short piece. There. That looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to glue that like right there. And it'll cover everything up. Back there. I'll put some glue right here. And then glue that right underneath her bun. And the little ribbon tails hang down and cover up the hole. Okay, so now we get to add the trim to her dress. So I'm going to put some trim along the bottom edge here. I have this white, it's actually almost like a seam binding tape, but then it has this sweet little crocheted edge on it, so it's doubled. So I'm going to start in the back and go around the bottom of her dress. I just go a little bit at a time so my glue doesn't dry out too quickly. I'll just start with that top edge and then I'll come back around and glue it inside. Move my camera so you can see a little better. I feel like I might be going off the screen. And then I'm just going to tack it inside a couple times. Not too worried about that. I just don't want it hanging down, you know. Okay, there we go. Now she has a cute little lace edge on the bottom of her dress. And, oh, you know what? I forgot to put her hanger on before I put the bow. So let me add the hanger. I have this, I don't know, it's something I saved off of something else. I don't even know. Some other ornament or a little gift box or something. So I'm just going to use a little piece of that and tie the end in a knot, and then I should have glued it on before I added the bow to the back of her hair. But I think I can still get it in there. So let me see. See, I think I can just jam it right there and then put some more glue. I've never been a very precise crafter, like you heard me just say, oh, let me just jam it in there. It's kind of how I do it. I never would make a professional seamstress or anything because I just don't have the patience for perfection. I used to make teddy bears, and those worked really well for me because you can cover up a lot of your mistakes because they're of the fur, you know, it covers like a seam that maybe isn't perfect or whatever. So I really enjoyed making teddy bears, but if it was sewing clothes, oh, I could never do it. So I think that'll work. I may come back and try and tack that again. But so now she has a little hanger so she can hang on the tree. So I think I'll do this one. I had this little tiny delicate pink lace that I did her sleeves with, and I used this same trim on the bottom, but I don't have, I only have pink. I don't have any little tiny lace that goes with these colors. So I think I'll just use this again. But so I'm going to go ahead and cut it first so I'm not having to deal. And maybe I'm not going to do like I did around the bottom. Maybe I'll just glue it directly to the top. You know what I mean? So I don't have to open it up and glue it on both sides like I did, because these arms are too small to do that. So and then I'll kind of open it up and glue the layers together. So see, I started in the front, so because I'm a tiny bit short, but it's in the back, so it's not a big deal. Again, not a precise crafter. So maybe I don't even need to worry about this. I don't know. I think I will tack it in a couple spots, just to be sure. But I don't really think it needs it. There. That's probably good enough. Okay. Do the same thing here. There we go. She's looking pretty cute, don't you think? So now let's do something down the front. I have this cute red ribbon. Glue it down the front like this. And I'm going to stop right before the edge of her dress, right before the trim starts. So let's start at the bottom here. I'll glue this on. If you're one to watch the entire video and then go do it on your own, you might want to do this in a different order, where you put the trim on first before put the center trim on first and then add the bottom trim over the top of it, or add the trim to her arms before you glue them to the body, you know. But this works for me, so here we go. And see, on this one I had just some plain pink seam binding, and then I put some red rickrack over the top to dress it up. This one I don't think needs anything else because it's got the little polka dots and the frilly trim. I think she needs a little bow here at her neck. I think this will work for a little bow. Could also do gold, you know, to match the hanger. I don't have any gold. Okay. That looks pretty cute. Okay, and that's going to go right here. This one's a little bit, she ended up a little bit taller. It's because of her hair, it's because of her big hair. She's got the 80s hair going on. Okay, so now we get to paint her face. So I am using some black craft paint, red, blue, and then decorating chalks for her cheeks. So I'll use this pink probably. If you don't have decorating chalks, which I know a lot of people don't, blush will work. Or if you're careful, you can use some paint and a really dry brush and get it on that way. So I'm going to paint her face like this one. So let me just draw it on there first, so I don't mess up when I go to paint. So I'm going to draw one eye right here. And then her other eye is almost covered up by her big hair. So I'm going to use the blue so it looks like she has eyeshadow on. My little paint palette. Okay, and you don't need much blue at all. And then you need a small little detail brush for this. So basically you're just painting a big circle. And if you're not a very good painter, these eyes are perfect because you don't have to worry about trying to get a pupil and an iris and all that and getting it even because your eyes are closed. So these are really easy and forgiving. And next I'm going to use the black. Give her some eyelashes. Alright, so I'm really fine line for this. So we'll just paint along the bottom half of her eyes. Now I'm going to do her eyelashes. Just use a really light hand. Don't push too hard and then your lines hopefully won't be too thick. I'm not going to give this one, this little girl has eyebrows under there and I actually didn't like the way they turned out, and I'm not even going to do them on this doll because her hair is covering up her whole forehead. So next I'm going to do the little mouth with the red. There we go. Okay, and to make this easier, most people probably aren't going to have one of these. It's a stylus that's got like a little ball tip, which makes making little circles and stuff like that easier. You could try a toothpick would probably work, or the end of a pencil, the end of a paintbrush, whatever you have that might make it a little easier. And then I'm just gonna start here and then just kind of go down in a little teardrop shape. There we go. You could probably paint the blue parts of her eyes like that too if you have a paintbrush like this would work, or even a little bit bigger. Okay, so now let's do her cheeks. So I have the decorating chalks, but like I said, you could use blush. Just use a Q-tip with your blush and that'll work. And be careful if your paint is still wet. Just gonna do a little. Give her a little blush. There we go. Okay. And the last thing, you can leave this part off if you want, but I gave her some little wings so that she's an angel. You could also give her a little halo with like a silver tinsel stem if you want. But I have this old handkerchief that I used to make her wings, and there we go. Nope, I don't have two ends anymore, so I think I'm gonna leave the wings off of her, or I'll find something else later to use. But what I did with this one is I just cut this little part out here and then glued it to the back for wings. So that's it. This is our newest little angel. I think I might add some flowers to her hair maybe, or I don't know yet, but that's the basic tutorial for making these cute little retro angel ornaments. So that's it. This 12 months of Christmas ornaments has come to an end. I hope that you enjoyed all of the little ornament projects that we made. I hope that you made some. If you didn't, maybe you'll go back now and make some. But I'm going to share a picture of my Christmas tree, which I decorated entirely with the ornaments that we made. I had enough because I did at least 3 ornaments for every month, because, you know, once you get started, it's so easy to want to, you know, do another and another. So I made at least 3 ornaments each month, and now this is December, started in January, I have enough for my entire tree, and I think it looks so cute, so I want to share that with you. Stay tuned, that Christmas tree reveal is coming up right after this. Thank you guys for watching, as always. If you enjoyed these videos, please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified whenever I put out a new video. There's lots more to come. Have a Merry Christmas!